So good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk. First of all, Happy New Year to all. I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk for this year, the first pep talk for the year. Okay. As a reminder, please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There'll be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your face in the video. As a reminder, after the pep talk, please take the online learning com evaluation test exercise or OLETE for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like the one shown here. The link has been placed in the chat box. Another reminder, obtaining 50 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentees to a voucher for a free ROJoson telemedical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Okay, everybody. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. And from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. This may take 3 years or longer, depending on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. Actually, we're near the end of the 3rd year. By May 15, we'll be completing the 3rd year of the pep talk. My pep talk today is entitled Holistic New Year Resolutions, How to Make It. So this in time very appropriate because this is just the new year. Okay. So the empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding on how to make holistic New Year resolutions as part of their health management. So doing New Year resolutions may be related to your health management. The contents of this particular pep talk will be the following. What are New Year resolutions? What is the importance of making New Year resolutions? And what are holistic New Year resolutions? What are the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions? And what are my recommendations on how to make holistic New Year resolutions? I'd like to have a disclaimer here. My talk will contain my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations, or what I call TPRRs for short. This is called from my personal experience as well as those from other professionals. So let's start with the first topic. What are New Year resolutions? We all know that this is a tradition commonly practiced worldwide. Okay? Most do it. Of course, some do not do it. But if we don't do it, That's not an offense. Okay. Nobody will take it against you. Okay. But you will see later on why is it important to have a New Year resolution. So New Year resolutions is a tradition in which a person resolves to continue or develop new good practices, change an undesired trait or behavior, accomplish a personal goal or goals, multiple goals, etc. at the beginning of a calendar year. So in short, the requirement for the New Year resolution is that it must be done to continue or develop good life practices, change undesired life practices, and then setting up goals. And then usually at the start of January 1 of New Year or a little after, probably a few days after. The other component in the definition of New Year resolution is that it's a promise to do something differently in the new year and or maintain good practices. And then it is also a promise that you make to yourself to start doing something good and stop doing something bad on the first day of the year. So what is the importance of doing New Year resolutions? Basically, it's for self-improvement. So you want to have a continuous self-improvement in living a purposeful and meaningful life on earth. So the requirements for a New Year resolution, it's for continuous self-improvement, and there must be a plan to live a purposeful and meaningful life on earth. The other importance of doing a New Year resolution is that, as we know, New Year resolutions can be said to be setting goals for the new year, for the incoming year. So another importance is that they can provide clarity for the goals and direction in one's personal life. And then they allow one to plan a course of definite actions for the future. So to summarize this, there must be a goal setting. The goals must be written down, and the goals must be clear and specific as much as possible. What are holistic New Year resolutions? First, let's define what is meant by holistic. Holistic means relating to or concerned with wholes, kabuuan, or with complete systems rather than with individual parts. It's dealing with or treating the whole of something or someone and not just a part of it, encompassing the whole of a thing and not just a part. So in short, it must be in totality, encompassing, and comprehensive. So what are holistic New Year resolutions? Holistic New Year resolutions are New Year resolutions that are in totality, encompassing, and comprehensive. Note, if there are so many resolutions, as usually seen in people doing New Year resolutions, one can prioritize. So either within the year or within so many years, but still they must be holistic. That is the preferred. So what are the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions? Most New Year resolutions, from my personal experience, are being done unsystematically, piecemeal, bit by bit, little by little, at random, no order, etc., and with no follow-through assessment and evaluation and continuous improvement. And most New Year resolutions being done at present are not in totality, encompassing, and comprehensive, meaning it is not holistic. So examples of a New Year resolution of a person which you usually see. So they say, I would like to exercise more. I would like to lose weight, get organized, learn a new skills or habit, live life to the fullest, save money or spend less money, quit smoking, spend more time with family and friends, travel more, and read more. Okay, so this example, and usually this is done unsystematically or piecemeal because we don't see the main reference or guiding theme of the resolutions. And this is everything is all for improvement, and there is no maintenance of good practice. New Year resolutions should include maintenance of good practices that has been done before, that has been accomplished. Another sample of a New Year resolution: get active with daily exercise routine, eat more fruits and veggies and less processed foods, learn a new skill or hobby this year, read a book every month, practice mindfulness through meditations, manage stress through regular breaks, save money, and create budgets. Again, done unsystematically and piecemeal. We don't see the main theme or the guiding theme, the reference for the resolutions, and everything is for improvement. We don't see the maintenance of good practices. As we shall see later on, New Year resolution should include maintenance of good practices. Another example, okay, this year I want to be more like Jesus. Okay, hang out with sinners, upset religious people, tell stories that make people think, choose unpopular friends, be kind and loving and merciful, take naps on boats. So again, piecemeal. So the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions is that they are done mostly for oneself in mind, leaving out the interests of family members and significant loved ones. And it is limited to some aspect of life practices and not the entire spectrum of life. Examples, it's limited to some physical health, mental health, spiritual health, time management, relationship management, career, etc. So it's not holistic. So what are my recommendations on how to make holistic New Year resolutions? Before I go to my recommendations, I'd like to say these are my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations. And I'd like to offer apology if I may be biased towards certain religion or spiritual practices and other practices. My recommendations for holistic New Year resolutions will be applicable to all adult people, even those 18 years old and above can follow my recommendations. And then adult people with of course with a sound mind, meaning capable of understanding and forming a rational judgment. And I would like to declare right away, I prefer holistic rather than piecemeal New Year resolutions. And holistic New Year resolutions may be tedious in making, particularly initially, but in the long run, it produces better outcomes as long as there is discipline and perseverance in implementation. So it's not only tedious in making, but it might be difficult in the implementation. So it really takes discipline and perseverance to be successful in the implementation. To be in totality, encompassing, and comprehensive in making New Year resolutions, which strictly speaking is a personal living plan with set goals of continually developing and improving one's personal life, mindset, and practices. A New Year resolution starts with the formulation of a holistic intentional living plan at whatever year or age a person wants to start to seriously do and implement a New Year resolutions. The formulation of the intentional living plan can start at age 18 years old or thereafter. If they have not started age 18, they want to catch up, they can do it at any time before death. Okay, it can be done at any time. If one embarks seriously on a holistic New Year resolution project, it should start with the formulation of a holistic intentional living plan. Note, intentional living plan are also frequently done piecemeal, just like the New Year resolutions. Again, I also prefer holistic intentional living plan. On this side of the slide, the orange one, Embracing 2024 with purpose, my annual plan, and a call to intentional living. I'm happy to see this on the internet, and then I copy it and paste it here. Okay. So this jive with my recommendation. So when you do your annual plan, which is the New Year resolutions, okay, so try to do it using the intentional living approach. Sample of piecemeal intentional living plan here. Okay. Take time to reflect, wait 24 hours before you buy, learn to say no, okay. Set boundaries with technologies, etc., etc. Another Other samples of piecemeal intentional living plan will be to plan, clean, and declutter, meal plan, etc., etc. It's just like the piecemeal of a New Year resolutions. So, as I said, I prefer holistic rather than piecemeal New Year resolution making, and I also prefer holistic intentional living plan over piecemeal intentional living plan. So when you come out with a holistic New Year resolutions, it's the same as coming out with holistic intentional living plan, or vice versa. If you come out with a holistic intentional living plan, you're making a holistic New Year resolutions. Holistic New Year resolutions or holistic intentional plans are long-term or whole lifetime plans. We have to understand this. This is the basic of this holistic New Year resolutions and living plan. It's lifetime, it's long-term, and it is in totality encompassing and comprehensive with the set goals of continually developing and improving one's personal life, mindset, and practices. It may not be able to achieve set goals in the new year because there's so many. There might be so many resolutions there, okay? But eventually, they should be achieved in the subsequent years or during a lifetime as long as there are discipline and perseverance on the person making it. Again, if there are so many resolutions, you can prioritize by year, but should not be totally left out and should at least be started in the year as much as possible. And it should include maintenance of good practices, achieved year in and year out with discipline and perseverance. Hindi yung na-achieve mo na, tapos next year mawawala. You have to maintain those good practices. That will be part of the New Year resolutions. So as I said, long-term and whole lifetime plans. These are the holistic New Year resolutions and holistic intentional plan. It can be started anytime, preferably at age 18. But if you are past age 18, you can still do the intentional living plan or intentional New Year resolutions. So again, it depends on when the holistic intentional living plan is formulated, maybe 18 years old, 40 years old, 65, 70, 75, 90 years old, 100 years old. And even when you have a terminally ill disease, you can still do a New Year resolution or holistic intentional living plan. Note, the elderly people and persons with terminally ill diseases can still do, and I would advise that they do holistic New Year resolutions and intentional living plans if they have not done them before, as this can provide directions in life and promote purposeful and meaningful life up to the end of life. Kahit na matanda na, kahit na limited ng lifespan, they should still do New Year resolutions or holistic living plan. So the first step, these are my specific recommendations. First step in making a holistic intentional living plan, spell out the overall direction and goals of life to live on Earth. Then acceptable examples will be such statement: to have a purposeful and meaningful life on Earth before death, or for those for the spiritual persons to have a purposeful and meaningful spiritual life on earth before death in preparation for an eternal salvation in heaven. So unacceptable examples, as they are not holistic, When you just say to enjoy life, to be rich in this world, to be famous, to be the greatest person. So usually these are not acceptable uh, statements on spelling out the overall directions and goals of life to live on Earth. So my recommendations, these are the acceptable statement. Then the second step in making a holistic intentional living plan is try to estimate your remaining lifespan on Earth if you can. I know it's difficult, but try, okay, to guide your intentional living plan formulation. Because we said that intentional living plan, New Year plan, is planning your life up your entire life. It's not only for this year, but continuously up to the end of life. Now, my recommendations will be the following. Those with existing specific disease, like cancer, like kidney terminal chronic renal disease on dialysis with limited lifespan, you can ask your physicians on or Google, okay, to help you estimate your remaining lifespan on Earth. Of course, this is just an estimate. Nobody knows when you're gonna die, no? Okay, but at least we have some statistics to guide us to plan, to make a plan. So examples of those data that you might be looking for, what are the 5-year or 10-year survival rates, and what are the median survival rates of people with uh, diseases. Then for those without specific disease, those who are just elderly, that just use 60 and above based on Philippine practice as the age of elderly, elderly age, okay, senior citizen. Look at the actuarial life or mortality table. Usually, local insurance companies have that table. They would say that yung mga table na yan will say that if you reach 90, baka you have only 10 years to live or 5 years to live. Usually, ganon. No? Okay. Now, the rest, those who don't have specific disease, those who are not elderly, okay, below 70, now I would suggest that you target 70 years old na lang. 70 years old, as this is roughly the reason for 70 years old, this is the average lifespan of Filipinos. The third step in making a holistic intentional living plan is make a detailed holistic intentional living plan just based on the overall directions or goals and estimated lifespan. So before I go to the details of the intentional living plan, okay, let me define first what my definition, my operational definition of this one. So it's a plan you make targeting a certain number of years in which you write down the things you intend or want to accomplish on your graduation day. That means the last day of your targeted year, which will make you feel you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, you are contented and ready to die a happy death. Of course, this is with the assumption and reality that all of us will die one day. And so this should be guided by your overall directions and call of life to live on earth. When I say this, the intentional living plan. So there are two general components in that detailed holistic intentional living plan. Okay, one is the goals for oneself, okay, but we have to put the timeline. The other one is the goals for the loved ones and time with timelines also. So the New Year resolution, intentional living plan, as I said, it should be encompassing, comprehensive, and it should include your loved ones, not only for yourself. So when you set down the goals, okay, you have to come out with general and specific goals, okay, with timelines, okay, years that you're gonna set for achievement, let's say 1 year or 2 years, okay, or even 3 years, if that should be the case. And then also set the years for the maintenance. Palaging may maintenance of the good practices that you have achieved. No? Now, these other specific areas, I'll now focus on the goals for the self, for the person himself. So the specific areas that should be covered here will be the following. Now, for the spiritual persons, you can include to love and serve God. Okay. So if you have this particular goals in your intentional living plan, you write the spiritual plan again with specific goals and general goals, and then with timelines. And then other specific areas will be as after the love and serve God. Then the next one will be to identify the legacies that you want to leave behind or to accomplish before you die for your family or for your community. And then for each legacies that you have decided to leave behind, you make a detailed write-up. Okay. So write the legacy plans with timelines. Then other specific areas that you have the minimum will you have to include based on my recommendations. As I said, you can include other personal concerns, but basically these are the things that I would recommend. How to stay alive and not crippled. Okay, this is essentially what everybody wants also. How to be productive, how to have a peace of mind, how to be contented, and how to enjoy life. So write action plans for each area with timelines. As I said, you can include others. These are the minimum that I would suggest. And the last specific areas that I would recommend that you include will be how to prepare for a happy death, because all of us, we know that we will all die, no? Okay, but one day. Okay, so we must also be prepared. So this shows the recommended contents of the holistic intentional living plans based on the overall directions and goal of an estimated lifespan. So goal for self with timelines, goals for loved ones with timelines, and for self, love and serve God for those spiritual persons, and then legacies to leave behind, how to stay alive and not crippled, how to be productive, how to have peace of mind, how to be contented, how to enjoy life, and how to prepare a happy death. So these are the minimum recommendations that I would like to suggest. So as I said, when you come out with write-ups, it must contain general specific goals with timelines. So you set the year that you want to target achievement, and then also set the years that you want to maintain it. If most likely you want to maintain it for life. And then the details, put down the details, specific strategies and action plans, and then this will be dependent on the person making the plans. I cannot dictate the details. Each one will have its own way of doing things. So after making the first draft of the detailed holistic intentional living plan based on your overall direction, goals, and estimated lifespan, which now constitute the holistic New Year resolutions, things to do, implement right away at the start of the new year. As I said, pwedeng 1 week, 2 weeks, no? Wag naman June or kaya okay, middle of the year. Start it right away. Keep track of the implementation during the year. Kung nasaan maabot, no? Kadalasan kasi walang tracking kaya nawawala. Usually the other pitfall is hindi nakasulat, no? Kaya nakakalimutan, no? Then at the end of the year, do a performance review. Just check kung saan na kayo, anong status na achieve or not achieve, anong mga kulang. And then, continually improve on the plan. Yung plan na yun is not really perfect in one writing. You can still, you have the opportunity and the leeway to keep on improving it. Even during the year, you can improve it. You can refine it. But if you have done one, gawin na lang nyo after, at the end of the first year, and then you refine them. Okay? So refine them every year end or new year. Then the next step will be to identify the cause of the under or not achieved outcomes. Kung anong mga resolutions hindi na achieve. Okay? So identify the cause and then continuously improve on them the next year. Okay? Yung susunod na taon, improve na ninyo until you achieve it. No? Okay. And then lastly, continuously maintain the good practices and achieve outcomes. So yung mga good practices, yung mga na-achieve ninyo, i-maintain ninyo. Huwag niyong bibitawan. Okay. So these are the things that I would like to recommend those who are making the detailed holistic intentional living plan. It's as good, actually, these steps that I mentioned here are more important than the first draft of the holistic intentional plan. Importante yung implementation and evaluation and continuous improvement. So this constitute a lifetime work. Makikita niyo, very extensive. Kaya it constitutes a lifetime work, no? Implement and continuously do self-improvement until you attain all your holistic goals so that at graduation day, no, the time that you're gonna die, you feel you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, and you are contented and ready to die a happy death. Okay? So these are my recommendations. Okay? Long-term, whole lifetime plans in totality, encompassing and comprehensive with set goals of continually developing and improving in one's personal life, mindset, and practices. I have been doing and implementing this template of holistic intentional living plans for my holistic New Year resolution since I was 45 years old in 1994 up to the present. In 3 weeks' time, I'll be 75. Okay. So that's total of 30 years. So initially, my experience, initially difficult, but eventually smooth sailing with discipline and perseverance. So 30 years na may maintain ko nito. Then every new year, probably there will be some refinements, okay? Some more new things that will come up. Then I will add on the basic framework. I'm contented and happy with the outcomes. If I were to die today and before my last breath, I can honestly say I have lived a purposeful life, have lived my life to the fullest, and I have lived a meaningful life. Again, I like to cite examples of what I have done. Okay. So number one, love and serve God for spiritual persons like me. Okay. So I have these resolutions for so many years now and have been implementing them well. Examples will be, I do attend daily Catholic masses, regular confessions, Holy Rosary, Holy Hour, and compassionate humanitarian programs. So these are just examples. And then legacies to leave behind. I have identified already about 50 legacies which I will leave behind to my family and community. Samples here: PEP Talk, Intentional Living Plan, Patient-Centered Care Management, legacy as a medical teacher, legacy as a father. Then for how to prepare for a happy death. So samples will be constantly in the state of spiritual grace, attending Mass daily, confession, compassionate humanitarian program, bonding with family, okay, so that anytime ready to go, completed my obligations to my children, and advanced directives telling my relatives what to do when I'm about to die if I cannot make decisions already. And then how to stay alive and not crippled. I've been doing this for so many years now. Avoid accidents, not to commit suicide, control whatever diseases that I may have so as not to cause or promote death, avoid stress, and then living a healthy lifestyle like exercise, diet, etc. Then how to be productive. Okay. So I try to make sure that I have at least 3 tasks accomplished among these 8 per day. So medical practice, medical surgical education, blogging, family bonding, exercise, relaxation, and social networking. Now, for peace of mind, always be at peace with God, always be at peace with every other human being, always be at peace with authority, and of course, stress management is part of my strategy for peace of mind. How to be contented? Examples will be always be grateful to God's blessing. And then no more rat race at least at this age of mine. Enjoy life. Samples will be enjoying the different kinds of pleasures in life. I have identified all of this, but I do it moderately. Okay. Sensual pleasure, ego pleasure, accomplishment pleasure, and appreciation pleasure. So those are the samples that of the specific strategies that I have been doing for the past 30 years. Okay. So let me end by saying that, okay, I have discussed all of this. What are the New Year resolutions? What is the importance of making New Year resolutions? What are holistic New Year resolutions? What are the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions? What are my recommendations on how to make a holistic New Year resolutions? So basically, to summarize, these are my recommendations. It should be long-term and whole lifetime plan. In totality, hindi lang for 1 year, in totality, encompassing and comprehensive, with set goals of continually improving and improving one's personal life, mindset, and practices. And as I said, if you do a holistic New Year resolution, it's equivalent to your holistic intentional plan and vice versa. And these are the recommended contents. Okay, goals for self, with timelines, goals for loved ones. Then within the goals for self, we have love and serve God, legacies to leave behind, how to prepare for a happy death, okay, how to stay alive and not crippled, how to be productive, how to have peace of mind, how to be contented, how to enjoy life. So you can see that it's very comprehensive. Then after you have made the first draft of the plan, implement it right away. Okay, at the start of the year, keep track of the implementation, then do a year-in performance review, continually improve on the plan that you made, and then identify the causes of the under and non-achieved outcomes and continually improve until you achieve it the next year, and then continuously maintain the good practices that you have achieved. So this constitutes really a lifetime work. Implement and continuously do self-improvement until you attain your holistic goals, so that at graduation day, you feel you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, and you are contented and ready to die a happy death. Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment: be always in touch with reliable medical information and how to make holistic New Year resolutions. Knowledge is power. It gives power. Use the 4Ks of patient empowerment: kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on how to make holistic New Year resolutions as part of your health management. So with that, I end my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on how to make holistic New Year resolutions as part of your health management. Before we go to the question and answer portion of the talk, reminder, please take the Olete and then try to get the Olete certificates, and 50 Olete certificates will entitle one to a free medical consultation with Dr. Hosan. And then feedback to this pep talk, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Okay. So let's now have a group picture taking before we start the question and answer in interaction. Please show your faces in the video. Okay. Everybody turn on your video. Clarita. Ayan, kompleto. New Year na New Year. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the floor is now open for comments, suggestions, questions, okay. Sharing of experiences. How many of you have finished your New Year resolutions? Or how many are doing New Year resolutions? Can I have a show of hands? How many are not doing New Year resolutions? So, ilan ang nag-New Year resolutions? Wala? Ilan ang nag-New Year resolution sa inyo? Pating kamay nyo, kamay. Hindi ko makita yung mga kamay ninyo eh. Wala? So ano yung mga New Year resolutions? For those who have been doing New Year resolutions, ano yung kaibahan na New Year resolutions na nire-recommend ko from what you're doing? Any comment? Belet? Belet, may New Year resolution ka, Belet?
Ano, wala po akong
Hindi ka nag-New Year resolution? Kahit na isa, dalawa, kahit na piecemeal?
yun na lang sa intentional living plan pa, be productive.
Be productive.
Kasi nagtatanim po ako ng halaman, nakapagbenta, nag-breed din ho ako ng dogs. Tapos yung huli ho ay nag-aral ako ng bread and pastry production.
Okay. Good. Okay. Okay, that's part of the pero pwede pang maging comprehensive, 'di ba? Kasi hindi lang naman 'yan gawain natin sa buhay natin, 'di ba? So, meron pang iba, 'di ba? So, just like love and serve God, 'di ba? Dapat meron kasama doon. Sa family, 'di ba? Okay. Yung mga family, 'di ba? Not only for yourself but also for other people, no? Okay. Okay. Lorly, ikaw, anong New Year resolution mo, Lorly? Unmute mo sarili mo, Lorly. Yeah.
Siguro pagkain. Pagkain.
Pagkain?
Bawas ng pagkain.
Okay. Jetta?
Opo, at saka
Ano na?
Simba. Pagsimba.
Simba. Okay.
Opo.
Okay.
Saka bonding with family and friends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I suppose you have New Year resolution, pero sabi ko nga piecemeal. You can try to make it more comprehensive, no? I-interconnect mo lang yung iba, lahat. Then i-prioritize lang ninyo, no? Okay. So, just make sure that you have one overall direction, no? Sa lahat ng ginagawa natin, no? Okay. Good. Okay. Sino pa? Perla. I suppose maraming New Year resolution si Perla.
Solution ba kayo?
Siguro, doktor, mag-exercise. Exercise every day.
Yeah, exercise is one.
Walking every day.
Bakit ka nag-walk? You want to stay
Siyempre,
alive.
to have a long life.
Long life. Okay.
Long life, not crippled.
Very good.
Not ulyanin.
Okay. Sige. Ano pa yung mga strategies mo para long life? Aside from the
Long
exercise.
life. To have regular check-up to my doctor.
Okay. Ano pa? Pagkain.
Pagkain, avoid salty, fatty foods. More on vegetables, fruits.
Okay. That's good. Ano pa? Ano pa yung mga ginagawa mo? Aside from trying to stay alive.
Iwasan magalit.
Okay. Tama.
Stress.
Oo.
Avoid stress.
Oo. Para part of your ano rin, healthy
Opo.
lifestyle.
Ah.
Para hindi ka magkasakit.
Pray. You pray.
Okay. I suppose most of you are doing New Year resolutions. Ang gusto ko lang ipadating is that make it i-package ninyo, ano, i-interconnect ninyo para comprehensive, para ano, nakikita niyo yung direction, yung team. Na, okay. The overall theme naman kasi is that you want to live a meaningful and ano, health, meaningful life, di ba? Okay. Okay. Anything else, Perla?
Wala na, doktor. Yun lang.
Okay.
Yun lang. Baka hindi ko magawa, doktor eh. Di ba? Baka ano lang.
Hindi, kung di mo magawa, pwedeng di mo magawa ngayon, pero kung talagang kailangan gawin, gawin mo. No?
Oh, pero ang talagang ginagawa ko, doktor, yung walking every day kasi may mga kaibigan akong kasama ko eh, mga kapwa ko seniors.
Yeah, tama yon. That's part of your
Nag-walking kami every day.
maintenance na yon. That's not a New Year resolution anymore. Hindi bago. Maintenance na yon. Na? Okay. So, ano yung mga bago mo? Anong bagong gagawin mo?
Yung kanyang bago?
Bago to either reinforcement. Pwedeng not entirely new. Pwedeng nire-reinforce.
Hindi ko maalala anong bago.
Ano?
Walang bago.
Walang bago. O sige, basta kontento ka na sa ginagawa mo, okay lang yon, no? Basta maintain mo lang. I-maintain mo lang. Okay.
Maintain mo lang para
Okay. Anybody else who want to share? Baka merong i-share si Maria Polotan. Gustav Polotan, you want to share?
Siguro ho, ano lang, maybe I should learn to trust God more.
Trust God more. Okay.
Because like whenever something happens, I tend to overthink a lot of a problem instead of realizing that God has never let me down. So parang, in essence also, if I do that as the first, if I think that as the first thought, then I should not be stressed out anymore.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So parang ano, just a refinement for this year, di ba? Refinement lang yan, di ba? Okay, ganun din ako. I think I still have to refine on that, na? Okay, to trust more God, na?
Yeah.
Wala,
Trust.
you get into anxiety and depression, eh, na?
Oo.
Okay.
Tapos afterwards, when it's resolved, you realize,
Yeah.
hindi naman, di ba? God will always find a way. Parang, why did I stress out so much in the beginning?
Okay. And I suppose you're doing the other resolutions in terms of healthy lifestyle, na? Ganon? Na? Okay.
Kinda, oo. I've lost, pero pero I wish I lost more, but I guess I'll just continue na lang.
You have
Kasi
not
this
achieved
past year,
you have not achieved your ideal body weight, di pa ba?
no. I gained so much during the pandemic eh. So this past year I lost 9 kilos. Pero kulang pa.
Kulang pa.
I have Oh, I have a ways to go.
Okay. So that's one of your resolutions would be that one to how
To
to
continue.
improve on it.
Oo.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
So, ito yung sinasabi ko, it should be comprehensive. Maraming aspect ng New Year resolutions, di ba? Okay. So, kadalasan, pag tinatanong mo isang tao, anong New Year resolution mo? Isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat, lima. Pero usually, hindi siya comprehensive. Di ba? Ganon, no? So, dapat in totality. And usually, in the perspective of the entire, of the life that you want to live on this world. Di ba? Okay. Any more? Rochelle, Mayan, anything that you want to share?
Rochelle po, Doc. Good
Oh,
afternoon.
Rochelle, okay.
Siguro po ako the same as Miss Maria.
Oo.
Try not to worry too much kasi masyado po akong worrywart. Yung may konti lang po akong nararamdaman sa katawan, I tend to be really anxious about it. Parang lagi akong kinakabahan. Yung ganon, I guess what I really need to improve on is yung trusting God with all my heart. That yung faith ko ba, Doc, to be really stronger na hindi ako basta maapektuhan ng kung ano mang kahit maliit na bagay lang. I just have to trust and pray a lot.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So,
Mm.
na-identify mo na yung some of your parang shortcoming that you want to improve on, na?
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
Yes, Doc. Yun po kasi lagi kong problema, Doc, yung anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. So, what you can do, you can focus on that. You can put more effort, time on that aspect, but do not forget the other things that you have, yung mga good practices that you have done, you want to
Yes, po.
maintain, na? Okay.
Thank
That's
you.
good. Okay. Any more?
Mayan po, Doc.
Mayan.
Always be thankful with the Lord kasi minsan po nakakalimot din ako. Kahit may binigay siya sa akin, I forgot to thank Him immediately. And then to always read a lot to avoid Alzheimer's disease. Kasi we need to exercise our brain every day or every time. Kasi as we grow old, 'di ba, we tend to have Alzheimer's disease. We cannot avoid that kind of disease. So we need to exercise our brain every time and then be with the family always. And then exercise regularly. Minsan I forgot to exercise. So I need to do it regularly.
Yeah.
Yun.
Okay. So, yeah. Marami, no? Marami pang gagawin, di ba? We know
Opo.
that life is a struggle, di ba? Nag-struggle
Opo.
tayo. Isa nakakalimutan, we struggle to say, hey, nakalimutan ko, dapat gawin ko ito, ganito ito, di ba? So,
And one thing, Doc, eat healthy foods. Kasi I tend to eat chips, yung unhealthy food, mga junk foods. So I need to avoid those things.
Hindi mo mabitawan yan?
Opo, kaya sabi, I need to avoid po kasi baka mamaya bumalik yung cancer cells.
Yeah.
Kailangan avoid it.
Yeah, importante, sabi ko nga doon sa discipline
Opo.
and perseverance, di ba?
Opo.
Discipline and perseverance na para
Opo.
magawa ninyo, para ma-achieve ninyo, na?
Opo, Doc.
So make it nakasulat ba yung iniisip mo?
Ano
Dapat
po,
isulat
nasa
mo.
notepad ko po sa Yahoo.
Okay. For the year. For the
Opo.
year. Dapat
Opo.
i-jot down ninyo para you can keep track. Na? Okay.
Thank you po, Doc.
Okay. Thank you also for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Lana? We still have 2 minutes to go before 3. Belet, Rochelle. Sino yung nakaalis na kanina? Okay. Si Fe Caldino. Anything else that you want to share, Fe? Phoebe? Hi, Phoebe.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Anong isi-share mo sa amin?
Wala lang, ipagpatuloy ko lang yung ginagawa ko nung 2023. Nag-aaral ng Espanyol. Kalibangan ko lang yun.
Okay.
Pagpatuloy ko lang, tutuhanan ko na.
Okay.
Mm.
Good. Espanyol, ha?
Mm.
Bakit
Para
nakamis ka? Pupunta ka ng Spain?
ay, nakapunta na ako maraming beses. Kaya gusto ko ring pagpatuloy yung natutuhan ko doon.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, sige. That's one of them lang naman, di ba? Doon ka mag-focus this year. Pero I
Yes.
suppose minamaintain mo yung ibang resolutions na na-achieve mo na.
Yung ano ko lang yung health ko. Yung binabantayan ko lang palagi na hindi lumala. Kung may mga naramdaman naman, yun lang.
Okay. Okay. So, no more other comments? If there are no more comments, we will call it a day. No? Then, we'll see each other next week ulit. No? So, andito kasama yung aking anak, si Dr. ROJoson. Lance, pakita ka. Lance?
Hello, good afternoon po.
Ayan. I just want to introduce to you my son. No?
Good afternoon, Doc Ray.
So, tapos na siya sa PGH. So, mas regular na siya mag-attend dito sa atin. No? Okay. He might be invited to give more lectures in the future pag hindi ko na, kung wala ako. No? Okay. Okay. So if there are no more comments, no more questions, we'll call it a day. I still have not decided the next step. Baka gallbladder polyps ang ko. Gallbladder polyps. Iniisip ko kasi may mga concerns sa gallbladder polyps, especially yung mga seamen, yung mga seafarer, yung mga naka-apply. No? Okay. So if you have mga kakilala ng mga ship, yung mga ship, ang tawag doon? Ship seafarer, yung mga yung nagbabarko, na okay. So usually pag may mga nagpapakiliran sila, kakaroon sila gallbladder polyp, kailangan operahan o hindi kailangan operahan. No? So I'll put it a priority kasi maraming nagtatanong. No? Okay. Okay, if there are no more questions, we'll call it a day. We'll see each other next week, next Saturday again. Okay. Bye-bye.
Happy to po, Doc.
Thank you po, Dr. Ray.
Bye-bye.
Salamat, Doc. Bye-bye.
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 Bye po.